Guys, we're going to start the meeting in 5 minutes, all right? Everybody wants, there is coffee over here and munchkins if anybody wants anything before we start. Right over here on here, to my left. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Got the flag is right here to my right.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Guys, we're going to do things a little different tonight. There's going to be 4 presentations. We're going to take questions as we go because they're as diverse as each person giving them. There's not one overall theme. This is kind of like a wrap-up of the summer for us for this meeting and what's happening moving forward. So we're just going to have the presentations and take questions as we go, and then have a moment of silence for one of the things that we're doing, and then we're going to depart. So it's going to be a little bit of an abbreviated meeting, only for the fact that we don't have a lot of town business per se going on, but there is a lot of good things that we're going to talk about. First thing I'm going to bring up is I was approached by some folks to get the town behind a campaign called Go Gold. And what it is meant for is to bring awareness to a cause anyone that has a child obviously would even feel even more about. It's pediatric cancer. And what we're going to do is we have at the table here, we're selling bracelets like the one I have on. I'm modeling tonight too, like this bracelet, and it's going to be donated to pediatric cancer. I reached out to most of the mayors in the Bayshore area. Our freeholders were already on board, and to our legislature. They're all on board. Everyone's going to do a resolution in September, making September Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. Atlantic Islands has already enacted their resolution. We're going to do ours on the first Wednesday in September. Union Beach is on board. Aberdeen, Monmouth Beach, Seabright, and Middletown all got confirmations. The freeholders did it last Thursday at their meeting, and Declan O'Scallon's going to take care of it at the state level for us at their first meeting in September also. Okay, the first person I'm going to bring up is a volunteer who's done a lot in the town, like so many others. The distribution center down on Bay Avenue, which is the old Borough Hall, we are trying to wind it down as best we can, but there is still a need out there. We get emails, myself, my wife, we get emails from people all the time, and nobody's looking for, a gold faucet or something like that. They need basic needs, diapers for the kids, formula, things like that. And now with school starting up, we think there's going to be so many folks that are going to need some help with school supplies for the kids. So thankfully we do have a lot of resourceful people who can get these done for people and get the needs taken care of, especially for the children in our town. So I'm going to bring up Rosemary Ryan. She's going to talk about our plan moving forward on how we're still able to get things for people and more importantly distribute them out there in an orderly manner. I'd like it if you could give a round of applause for Rosemary Ryan for everything she's done.
Hi everybody. Some of you may remember me with no hair, but it's back. I wanted to let you know that there are still items available downtown at the distribution center, and there are women that are down there during the week. They usually post the hours on the garage. This weekend we're going to be open Saturday and Sunday. Saturday I think I'll be there from 10 to 2. Sunday I will be there from 11 o'clock until 2 o'clock. There are tiles available. There are wall tiles. There are still some sheets. There are no more cleaning supplies, but whatever the items are that are in there, there are face masks, there are gloves. And I do have some backpacks. There's some new linens. I have still tons of socks. There are, if your children need backpacks, I'm going to give you my email address. You can email me if they need any school supplies or you know a family that does. I can get them to you. My email address is RORYAN3@comcast.net. So it's RoRyan3@comcast.net. If you know people that need anything still, and they're having a hard time, they need building supplies, email me. Because even though we're going to try and wind down the Solution Center, or not the Solution Center, the garage and the supplies, by hopefully the middle of September. If things become available and we get donations, I know that people were interested in the past in donating some carpeting, some floor tiles. We're going to accept those donations and we're going to let you know via an email blast or the town website. And there's also the helphighlandsnj.org. That website is still up and running. You can can look on Facebook. It will get out and around. It will also be posted on the Borough Hall window that week prior to giving it out. If Borough Hall's not available to give it out, we may move it up to OLPH, to the parking lot up there. We'll work out where the distributions will be. But anything, if you know a family that's really in need, if they really need diapers, tell me. I can get you diapers. I can get you formula. If somebody needs food and they're too proud, or not too proud, or they're too embarrassed to go to the food pantry, I'll get them food. We're still here to help. We're still here to help anybody that needs anything, and we will get it done. It might take me more than a week to get something, but we'll still help out and get it done. As far as Hope for Highlands on the side, I'm also the chairperson for Hope for Highlands. I want you to know that we've given out over $150,000 in grants to the town, people of the town. We do have about 45 more people that are on the waiting list, and we will be doing other events in the future to try and raise more money to get out more grants to people. What we have planned, it's in the beginning stages, is a holiday trolley tour, where we're looking for homes in the town that decorate to open their homes to the people that would like to pay the price, go on the trolley. We're going to see if the restaurants will sponsor each house. We'll have a little bit of food, a little bit of holiday cheer, and bring back some happiness in the town. So we're not giving up. Anybody that is on the waiting list, please don't think that we've forgotten about you and that we're not trying to raise money. We are, we will, and we'll make sure that everybody on that list gets something from the grant. So if you have any questions or you have anything that you need, or you know somebody, please give my email address out. I will help, and if I really can't do it, I'll tell you I can't. I won't keep you waiting. I'll keep in contact with you and let you know how we can help. Thank you.
Another exciting project we have going on now, we're going to have Councilwoman Tara Ryan come up. She's been spearheading this initiative with Tim Hill since the beginning. We started talking about this around Comcast Cares Day, which was the beginning of the summer. And now it's kind of all coming to fruition. It's going to be part of it, it's going to be a new or a rehabilitated? Rehab, the VFW building. Councilwoman Ryan?
Okay.
Thank you. I want to tell you about this group called Rebuilding Together. It's a volunteer group, and they reach out and help groups that are not exactly a business, really are not-for-profit. It's not a home, it's not a private enterprise, it's not a restaurant or a regular store. This is the group that came on Comcast Day or around that time, and they helped rehab the American Legion. When they drove around town and saw the other things that had to be done, they said that they would like to come back. Usually they only do one thing per town, but they were trying to decide what to do. Mr. Hill and I took them to the community center and to the VFW, and we found out just yesterday that they are going to come back and they have decided to help rehab our VFW. That is another building that so many people do use. I wish more would use it. Since our community center is still out of commission, once the VFW is rehabbed and cleaned up, perhaps we can do a lot of other things there. So they came today and with two regional directors, and they went through with Dan Mandrad and myself and looked at what needs to be done. They have a budget, and they will bring in the supplies, and then they will also bring in various volunteers. We're going to have Comcast workers, once again, come and help us, but also other groups, and I'll be letting you know what's going to happen down there as time goes on. Rebuilding Together would like to have the reveal, have the opening of the newly rehabbed VFW on Veterans Weekend in November. They are also going to be working with one of our other groups that have helped so much in town, which is Project Compassion from the Charles Finney School in Rochester, New York. They came to town right after the storm, and they worked in a kind of different way. They identified specific families, and they tried to get everything for each family or business that they work with. And they have now worked with 5 separate families, bringing them furniture, clothes, food, electronic items, various things that they need. This group is going to come in with their youth group, and they will be doing painting and cleaning up, etc. I'm looking around. These are just 2 of the groups that we have come to town that have helped us, but there are certainly people, all of you have been here, and I'm going to say that our Maureen and Arnie have done a phenomenal job of placing items. Everybody here has done something. Rosemary even downplayed what she does. It was amazing what she pulled together after this talk. But we all did it. We all worked together, and here we are, and we're moving forward with the town. And I hope that you will all come and join us. I'll let you know exactly when on Veterans Weekend, when it will be at our newly rehabbed VFW. Thank you.
That's some more good news. Thank you very much for that. We're going to bring up a few special guests right now. Marita Bucco, Mary Kovach, and Janet Moley. Come on up, ladies. I'm going to give you, they've obviously have been affected by the cause we're going gold for. I'm going to give you a sample resolution tonight, and the official ones, as far as the Borough of Highlands, will be voted on in September 4th, I believe is the meeting, and I'm sure, obviously, there'll be no issue with the other towns either. And hopefully at the state level, and the freeholders already started the process, so the county level also. And the governor, so I got a correspondence from one of his aides too. So September will be Childhood Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. Our proclamation says, whereas 36 children in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer each day and at an average age of 6 years old, whereas 1 out of 5 children diagnosed with cancer will not survive the disease, whereas the types of cancers that affect children are most often very different from those that affect adults, whereas childhood cancer is not just one disease but made up of a dozen types of countless subtypes of cancer. Childhood cancer spares no socioeconomic, ethnic, racial, or geographic class, and whereas pediatric cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in U.S. children under 15 years of age, and whereas the cause of most pediatric cancers are largely unknown and not strongly linked to lifestyle, unlike adult cancers, such as smoking and things like that. Whereas 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will develop long-lasting chronic conditions resulting from the treatment, the childhood cancer rates have been rising for the past few decades. Approximately 11,630 children in the U.S. under the age of 15 will be diagnosed with cancer in 2013. Whereas cancer kills more kids than AIDS, asthma, cystic fibrosis, diabetes, and muscular dystrophy combined. And whereas in the last 25 years, only 2 drugs have been specifically developed for children's cancer, whereas less than 5% of the federal government's total funding for cancer research is designated to childhood cancers, and only 3% of funds raised from the National Cancer Institute go directly to pediatric cancer research. The funding for pediatric cancer research has gone down steadily since 2003. And despite the fact childhood cancer research is vastly and consistently underfunded, whereas despite major advances in treatment, it is still critically important to conduct research and increase awareness regarding pediatric cancer. Therefore, I, Frank Nolan, Mayor of Highlands, and every other town will do the same, do hereby proclaim September 2013 Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Highlands in order to help raise awareness of pediatric cancer and victims. Here's 2 of the symbolic ones, ladies. I don't have the official ones.
Most of you know me or my parents, Tony and Carol Bucco, and most of you know that my son passed away on Easter from cancer. He had cancer as an infant, and he beat that. It was a rare cancer then that he beat, and he got a brand new rare cancer at 15. And in 4 years, it took his life. So we really need to go gold. We want to make gold as popular as pink. Like you painted the town pink, we want to paint the town gold.
Hi, I'm Mari Kovach. My name's Campanella. I grew up here in town, went to OPH. My daughter was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma a couple years ago. She had a positive outcome, and right now she's going to start high school next month. And I just wanted to thank all you folks in the audience. I see many faces out here that supported us while we're going through treatment. And it's a difficult thing to watch your child be that sick. And like Maria said, we're hoping that we can make this a new pink, maybe the pink the new gold, golden new pink rather. Sorry, golden new pink, because you've seen the increase in research funding for breast cancer has really paid off, and so we're hoping to do the same for childhood cancer. Thank you.
Okay.
We're gonna put gold ribbons all over town. I know my wife's probably already ordered them. And we're gonna put them everywhere we can. We're gonna ask the businesses to get involved also and do exactly what you're saying. Hopefully make the town go gold this time instead of pink. How about a round of applause for the ladies? Thank you. Next thing we're going to talk about is we have a concert coming up on September 8th at 3 o'clock. It's down at C Street, just like the last time. We have somebody coming to speak about it, but they're running a little late, to give you an idea of what's going to happen and who's going to be there. I know we have, like the last time, Southside Johnny and Bobby Banderio from Bon Jovi, and a lot of support people, and they're billing it as some surprise guests also, so I guess you can just use your imagination who might show up there. The tickets are for sale, we have them here, they're also for sale in it'll be for sale in many places in town. They're $25 to Highlands residents for the regular pass, and then there's a VIP pass if anybody, wants to buy them for $500, which we expect to, sell them corporate-wise and to people like that. So that concert's going to start at 3, and we're going to soon go for 3 or 4 hours like the last one did. But one of the things we're going to try to do is put some money into Hope for Highlands. Like Rosemary said, there's still some families that have applied for grants and didn't get it yet. We also have a little more money left over that we have to raise for the playground, and we're down at Veterans Field. That's where the Angels, Sandy Hook Angels. Come on. And we also have the promenade in the back that has to get done. So Rick Korn's coming also to speak, but we'll get a little better idea what we're talking about now. You got tickets, good. I got tickets.
I'm Joe Berg. I'm the chairman of the build for the playground here. We've built 8 all total so far. It's a $3 million project. There's 10 going in New Jersey, 10 going in New York, 6 going in Connecticut. The families are on board with this. This is all from the Newtown shooting, obviously. That's part of where this came from, and also, obviously Sandy is doing a lot of things. Parents who come into the concert, they're all on board for this. One of the surprise guests that we're talking about is actually Daniel Gordon, is the child that was chosen for Highlands. His father is actually a musician. He's coming with his band. They're going to play Southside. And we're working on several others. We'll see who actually shows and tells us that they're coming. The day's going to start. Gates are going to open at 2. We're going to have food. Obviously, there'll be a beer truck and some wine. But the joy you see with the families and how they've taken and embraced the towns that have done this for them is phenomenal. We just finished Normandy Beach last week. As we're raising a flagpole, the mother says, "Could you hold on a second?" She breaks out some ashes and puts it in the ground. It's just, so you got 30 firefighters just blowing our eyes out as this happens. So it's a wonderful project. If you can come, please do. And what we're asking is, if you look on the SaveGroundProject.org, there's a place where other people can buy tickets. If you have Facebook pages, just share the thing and share it. That's what we're really asking. It's a pay it forward type thing. Each town, as they're built, people are walking up to us and handing us checks for $5,000. We just actually got one for $20,000 on our last bill, which shocks us. And that's all. And we're just asking people to pay it forward. Accept the gift that's going to be down there. Enjoy it. And if you go to any of the other ones, Seabright, Asbury Park, Aswan Beach, now Normandy Beach, there'll be Highlands, and you'll just see the kids. It's like they love it. They're on it every single day, and it's an amazing program. And the other thing is, don't think that we're getting rid of the one that's down there. That's actually going to be moved and reused down by the community center. So it's not just a white
So
house.
we're not just throwing that out.
Yeah, we're keeping it, we're using it somewhere, yeah, we put it in somewhere else.
When is the date?
September 8th, he's open at 2, concert starts at 3, we have it till 6, and we're, you know, if we can squeeze it a little more time, you will?
We have to, the ordinance is 8 for the record. So,
Okay, so
if you get the right special guest, we'll.
I've got a switch, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Frank.
Does anybody have any questions on some of the presentations we did already while everybody's still here that did the presentation? It's gonna be, like I said, pretty much an abbreviated meeting. Anybody have any questions so far, what we're talking about? No? Okay. Just for the record, Joey, the food and the drinks, everything is gonna be for sale, it's not included with the ticket, correct?
Correct.
Because that was one of the questions that keep coming up on Facebook from people. Yes, ma'am?
Your VIP tickets to the concert, 500
Yes.
general admission,
25 for Highlands residents, so I assume everybody here tonight lives in Highlands.
and
35 if you're not a Highlands resident.
Okay, thank you.
Most of the people who, we see, obviously, they come into the stores that we're gonna have them in, and the other people during the week, generally are Highlands residents. The ones that are on the weekend, sometimes, you saw, the town was packed, not going all weekend, pretty much because the weather was perfect. So what we're trying to do is cover not just obviously the playground project, they have the promenade in the back, we also have so many folks like Rosemary Ryan said, have already submitted for grants, and we just didn't have the money yet. So hopefully we can raise enough money to take care of all those things, and maybe something else. So that's the kind of stuff we're trying to do.
It's also going to be like a super 50/50.
Super 50-50 that day, and is there a number of tickets, or?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so those details are just being worked out.
The funds from that is going to provide.
Good. So again, we're trying to get the people who applied for grants, get them taken care of, and then these other projects done too, because that's, obviously the most important to us. Somebody else have a question? If you didn't hear, folks, I'm sure you saw it on the news, we had a house lift gone bad on Friday, and it was one of the most heartbreaking things you want to see. The person whose house it was, I think that house was renovated less than 2 years ago, done, complete. I thought it was a beautiful house too, and it came off of, I'd say, dropped about 3 or 4 feet from being on site. It twisted at a 45-degree angle. The back of that house, which was 1 locust, hit 3 locusts. 3 locusts got shooken, and the chimney and everything else was kind of tilted towards 5. 5 and 3 were abandoned. 1, I believe, since before Irene, and 1 from after Sandy. The building inspector and the engineer made the call to take down all 3. Unfortunately, the family that was lifting the house on 1, the walls on the back and the side had come off the floorboards. So the floors were buckling. So even when the local contractor, a young guy right around, tried to go in, when we had him on the phone, they told us where like their filing cabinets were and stuff like that. He took 1 step in and the floor was shaking like that, but it wasn't safe to go in. So if you didn't see during the course of the day, we tried to get the stuff as it came down. They had family members come who were not on vacation with them, and were picking out what they could out of the demolition. But it was one of the most saddest things we ever saw. And what had happened there, they literally had done everything by the book as far as hiring and everything else. There was some questions that day if the contractor they hired subcontracted the job out. We don't know that yet. We're still sorting through that. But what we are talking about doing is bringing them back in for a pre-lift meeting whenever we do lifts moving forward. We're not trying to tie anybody up, but what we want to make sure is if you hired, ABC house lifters, you have ABC, they have a current insurance certificate that's on file and enforceable, God forbid there is a problem, and make sure that they have everything that they're supposed to have. Somebody had told me that another house lifter had coincidentally driven by and said to them, hey, this is wrong here, the roller's got to be disconnected, and they didn't listen, and the guy went to get a coffee and came back, and when he came back, that house was the way it was that you saw on the news if you were down there. So that was definitely a tragedy. We're trying to take every step we can in the town to eliminate those things from happening as we move forward. And we see so many of the houses that are lifted and they look good, and I think a lot of the people are doing a good job. But like everything else, unfortunately, there's probably as many house lifters on now as there are stars in the sky since all this has happened. Especially here in Union Beach, I think there's 5,000 houses that got lifted. So I don't think there's enough people to do that. Also, I talked to another reporter today about this idea with what we're going to do with flood mitigation. The borough has bonded $4.5 million to alleviate some of the flooding, new pump stations, additional pump stations, refurbished ones we have, new drainage, new check valves, things like that. You saw it on interviews about talking about raising the town and make it clear. I don't even know that that's a possibility, but I know a wall is not. I want everyone to understand that. I'm not running around saying we got to do raise the town and that's the only solution. But the only solution can't be their solution, which is putting a wall up. The Corps of Engineers came into our borough council meeting on Wednesday night to executive session, and their plan right now is a 13 to 15 foot wall, right or wrong. And you'd go down to Marina Place, that's 11 feet. Has everyone been down to Marina Place and see that rotting wall down there? Well, two things. One, it's 4 feet higher than that. I'm 6'4" and I can't see over that wall standing on the street. I understand it's not just aesthetics, but maybe they didn't hear this, but the rumor is that we are at sea level or below in most of downtown. So if the water was to come up and go to the wall and it's 4 feet higher, then go out. So I don't know, and by the way, folks, I'm not an engineer. I run a Mercedes dealer. So if you ask me how to fix that or buy that, I'll tell you that. I can assure you that I don't think the wall is going to work. It'll be a bathtub type of solution. So when you see me and you see Steve on TV, and we're not crazy. We don't think that this is what should happen. We just want there to be some dialogue going back and forth to have more than one solution that has been the solution they've been trying to do since the early 90s. And it was never done because nobody ever thought it was feasible. And the only thing that's changed is the wall's gotten higher. First was 11 feet, 13 feet. Now we're talking 13 to 15 feet with a 2 foot possible error, up or down. So they're going to come to the next town hall meeting. I've asked them to lay out this presentation. It was just in the infancy stages on Wednesday night, so it wasn't appropriate to have the pictures up and things like that. But it is literally a wall across the where the water meets the land in the Borough of Highland. So I don't know about you, but I don't know that that's the answer, in my opinion. And by doing what we're talking about, doing with raising the town and things like that, we're just trying to start a dialogue. It has to be something in between where it works. So we put our quote-unquote skin in the game as the borough and bonded this money to let everybody know what's going on up to date. Because council meeting, we usually don't have as many people as here. This council meeting, we had a good showing, but we didn't have as many as we have usually at the town hall meeting. So that's where we stand with flooding. I see Rick Horn has arrived. Rick, you want to give us a little presentation on the concert? Joe went over some stuff, but maybe you have some more. Rick is responsible, amongst others, for the concert we had down there after the storm, and some of the other things that have happened in town. So, Rick Horn.
Thank you. I just came from the flood mitigation subcommittee meeting, so
You got the answer?
I have an answer. I have a solution. But there are some really good people in that committee, and there's a lot of great dialogue going on, so I think there'll be a good presentation. We are, I'm sure some of you have seen a sign up at Veterans Park about us building a playground for one of the children that died up in Newtown. We're really honored that one of the families has selected Highlands to have their child's playground. Child's name is Daniel Martin. I highly recommend you going online and looking up Daniel and see what he's all about. I believe the park is talking to his dad. I believe the park is the absolute perfect spot for them. Every morning before school, Daniel and his dad would go and look at the sunrise. And when I lived downtown prior to the storm, my wife and I in the morning would go to Veterans Park and look at the sunrise. It's a beautiful sunrise over Sandy Hook. And Daniel's a very special person. Was a very special person. We're really honored that we were selected. We're going to do a concert called the Sandy Playground Concert. We're going to do it in the C Street parking lot. We've partnered with C Street, giving us the parking lot. We're turning that into a beautiful concert venue for September 8th at 3 o'clock. It's on a Sunday in the afternoon. It's $25 for Highlands residents. The money goes for 3 things. It goes to help build our playground. It also goes to help our first aid, which, as most of you know, was severely impacted by the storm. And it also goes to help some of the people that are still on the Hope for Highlands list. I think we have about 13 or 14 people that need some assistance. So the concert's going to go for that, and hopefully if we raise enough money, it'll go to kind of pay it forward to other towns from Sandy Hook, New Jersey to Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut to get their playgrounds. So there's a total of 26 playgrounds. I think 8 have been built. Seabright was the first one, named after the principal. Asbury Park did their ribbon cutting this past Saturday. So we are very excited about this concert. If you were at the concert in November in the freezing weather and you stood out there and watched Bobby Bandiera and Southside Johnny, we're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be a lot warmer, I promise you. I can't do anything about the rain, but they do make umbrellas. But it'll be a great day. The playgrounds are built by the New Jersey Firefighters Benevolent Association. And they're going to be there in force and teaming up with our fire department and our first aid group, and there'll be food and wine and beer, and some of the businesses in town will also have their food out there. So please put it on your calendar. Come. You know, if you've been helped by the FMBA, the firefighters, they helped about 25 homeowners in this town. Please come and support them. They pulled apart the boardwalk in Veterans Park as well. So they really helped this town. Now it's time to give back and pay it forward a little bit. So thank you, and I'm going to go back to the flood mitigation meeting. So,
Thank you, Rick. Thanks. Come back with the answer, right, Rick? Folks, another announcement. Teen night, ages 14 to 18, September 13th. 7 p.m. to 9:30, free in the Highlands Elementary School. Pizza and soda will be served. Exciting. All joking around aside, no matter what your politics are, or whether you believe in any of the stuff that some of us are doing or none of us are doing, these are two very worthwhile causes. Obviously, one is life and death, and the other one is just death, what happened up in Connecticut. But they're trying to get people involved, especially with the parents involved on both issues. They're trying to turn this into some type of ongoing positive thing to look forward to and maybe stop the same thing from happening to someone else's family, obviously. We're going to end here. What I'd like to do is take a moment of silence, and then when we're done, if you want to, we have tickets for sale over here at the table. She got a bunch if you need more. And we also have bracelets for sale if you're going to donate the sales to pediatric cancer. Okay, let's take a moment of silence, please. Thank you, folks. The next council meeting will be at the grammar school, September 4th, 8 o'clock to the public. Please see the people at the table on your way out, even if it's just for information on what you can do.
Frank,